Hello and welcome to the Park Hall Hotel in Chorley, where we've really reached the business end of this 1995 Embassy World Pool Championship. More than 100 set out, but only a handful can still win the men's title. Among them, the two players who are about to meet in this latest quarter-final. Now, when Keith Brewer moved house recently, he had to employ an extra removal van just for his pool trophies, all 400 of them. It's a measure of the success that he's enjoyed. His rival is Terry Hunt, who had to battle through the gruelling qualifying rounds just to reach the championship proper, and now finds himself in the quarter-finals. Quite an achievement. Let's join our MC now, Alan Hughes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, first a player who has come right through the qualifiers, and what a great tournament he's having. Ranked number 10 in the United Kingdom, he is a former Welsh Masters and Welsh and Dorset Open winner, and he has the distinction of winning the Pro Tour and the Open on the same weekend. One of this year's dark horses to capture this coveted crown. Can I ask you to welcome from Sheffield, the Blade himself, Terry Hunt. And Terry's opponent, who's won everything the game has offered over and over again, and this world title is the only crown that has eluded him in what has been a phenomenal career. Back for another tilt at the title he wants so badly. Ladies and gentlemen, he's the #1 player in the United Kingdom. He comes from Manchester. Will you welcome, please, the incomparable Keith Brewer.
And as Jeff Stelling was saying, the business end of this 1995 Embassy World Pool 8-Ball Championship. The UK #1, Keith Brewer, and he's up against the qualifier, Terry Hunt.
Red Bull Potty.
But even though he's a qualifier, I can assure you, he comes with a lot of credibility. He's number 10 in the UK, is that man's opponent.
Yellow Ball's nominated.
He's won a few titles and he's got experience under his belt. But certainly, one of the pre-tourney favorites would have to be Keith Brewer. And in with the early chance, thanks to a fluked ball off the break, is Keith Brewer. Yellow ball's in play. He's a master tactician, knows the game inside and out, as does my color commentator joining me in the box. Been here before, knows what it's all about. The Basher, Ireland's captain, Tony Holgate. And Tony, I have to say that on paper, Keith Brewer has to be considered a favorite here. But you and I both know from talking to a lot of people around this tournament, he's got a formidable opponent in Terry Hunt.
Yes, Jim. To me, this game's going to be an absolute thriller. For me, this is definitely the tie of the round. Terry Hunt has played roughly, I'd say, about 9 matches to get to the quarterfinals against a lot of strong opposition. I don't know, maybe I fancy Terry to take Keith. He's had a lot of wins against him in the past. I don't think Keith will be looking forward to playing him.
30 seconds remaining.
Well, I've got it from good sources that he's a dynamite potter. Shows a lot of flair in his game. And that was fractions away from dropping into the middle. the Brew, as he's become known, looking for his first world title. He's won just about everything you can win on a pool table that the planet has to offer.
30 seconds remaining.
150 major titles to his credit, but the biggest prize of all still awaits him. Tony, knowing Terry Hunt probably as well as you do, are the tactical battles in this match going to favor him?
Well, to be honest, Jim, I don't think Terry will want to get involved in a tactical game with Keith. Terry's a very similar player to myself. Does like to go for the balls. He's a bit unlucky there. I think he's going to find himself maybe one frame down.
Foul.
Yes, with that foul, Keith Brewer, the luxury of having 2 visits. And at this level, that's something you can ill afford to give away to your opponent. Knowing that he has a missing hand, Terry Hunt surely resigned to the fact that he's staring 1-0 down right in the face.
Well, I'm sure Terry knows that any mistake he makes, Keith Brewer will definitely punish him to the full.
Well, might not have wanted to relinquish that second visit quite so soon, but still, the remaining 3 yellows in more than potable positions, so you'd still have to expect them to clear up from here. The white just edges by the black. I'm sure Keith Brewer was willing it on. And now this final black, and he will have taken the first frame, and an important one it is. And in it goes, and then Keith Brewer, in a very nice clearance, takes the opening frame. He leads Terry Hunt 1-0. Just before we go into the second frame, certainly worth looking at this foul, because it was the one that cost Terry Hunt the opening frame. Very unlucky, and it ended up being decisive. But it's now him breaking off in frame 2, trying to make amends.
Yellow ball potty.
Open table, even though the yellow ball's been potted. So Terry Hunt with his option for either color. Always nice to get a ball off the break, Tony. Gives you control of the table.
I think Terry will be wanting to stamp his authority very early in the match. He won't want to let Keith get 2 or 3 in front of him. He's a very quick player, is Terry. Very nice to watch, very smooth on the cue. I fancy Terry to clear up on the reds here.
Tall order, Tony, especially given the fact he's got that one awkwardly placed red. Takes some doing. In the early stages, you know that nerves always play a role. But I like a man that steps out on a limb. even if it is thin.
Terry there, he's another ex-snooker player. Very good with the rest. This is an awkward little shot. As you can see, he's queuing close to the yellow. But he's made it nicely. Just has to flick that ball on the left, just out away from the yellow. If he can do that, I think it should be one each.
Well, certainly that appears to be the shot on. He's got to develop that awkward red. If it isn't coming now, it's got to be next.
He's made it a little bit awkward there, Jim. So he's got to try and move it this next shot. But the problem is, he's got to actually land on the ball after he's moved it. And that's where his problem lies.
He's just coming up to his 30th birthday. And what a present it would be if he could lift this crown. Something to celebrate.
Yellow balls to play.
And certainly there will be no one rooting harder than his newlywed wife, Vanessa. She's there watching front and center. But of course, one major hurdle.
Seconds remaining.
Well, Tony, they call him the Blade on my sheet, but you tell me he goes by another name. You say he's an Olympic-class sleeper.
That's right, Jim. He's affectionately known as Sleeping Terry on the professional circuit. Good job this match is not a morning one, that's all I can say. I've won one match before when he failed to turn up at 10 o'clock. Does like the knife life a little bit too much, I think, Jim.
Well, got to settle down now, Terry. You're a married man. Back to business and the task at hand.
I noticed Vanessa there with the worried look on her face. Been at matches before when Terry's been playing, and she can't bear to watch. She has to go out the room a lot of the time.
Foul. 2 visits.
Keith Brewer intentionally fouling. He's removed one of Terry's reds, and in so doing, Tony displaced it with one of his yellows. Now, from the position of the balls, Terry with 2 visits. Who would you favor here?
All depends on his first shot, Jim. If he can kick the red at the other side of the yellow, which he's done, he's got a great chance now. That is a perfect shot.
Big frame, this one for Terry Hunt. This black to level things 1 frame apiece. It's a race to 9, and it's all square at 1 apiece. Terry Hunt versus Keith Brewer.
You're watching Sky Sports 2.
The Breeders' Cup, live and exclusive, Saturday at 4:30 p.m. on
In prime, Keith Brewer to break.
Keith Brewer will be
2
breaking
frames
off
each.
here in frame 5. And very noticeable, Tony. We saw Terry Hunt using a break cue. Keith Brewer risks damaging his tip. He uses the same cue he plays with. Maybe a little unusual in today's circumstances, but equally effective.
Yellow ball potted.
Yeah, most of the players now have turned to break cues. One reason is not to damage your cue. Another reason is because a big heavy cue can break the balls apart a bit more. I'm very surprised about Keith not using one.
Yes, there you can see Terry's break cue, a larger tip.
Yellow balls to play.
Keith Brewer in with the yellows. Covering one of the corner pockets.
Balls to play.
That'll come into his advantage in the later stages.
Foul. 2 visits.
He's played a great shot there. He's played the deliberate foul. Gave away the 2 shots. But in doing so, he's also put another of Keith's balls safe. He's got a lot of yellows tied up. He does have the 2 shots, but I can't see any way that he's going to finish them from here.
And the shake of the head from Keith Brewer, obviously confirming that theory.
30 seconds remaining.
It's one of the situations where when you're actually stood there and you don't really know what to do, you can get a mental block. You've heard the timekeeper call out the 30 seconds. I don't really think Keith knows what to do with this shot.
Second visit.
Well, anything you can do, I can do better. Again, Keith Brewer's turn to cover one of the corners.
Yeah, I think he's proved me wrong there, Jim. I think he did know what to do. Terry's got his work cut out now. Keith's next shot will be able to move the yellow next to the red, make that possible, and then put Terry under a lot of pressure.
The English captain and the
30
French
seconds remaining.
captain. Kevin Wright and Eric Lecaw. Again, Keith Brewer dislodging one of the awkward yellows. And also in the crowd, a few dignitaries. That's Bernard Dufault over on the left, Andre Gagnon in the center, and Lance Sheen. You've got, respectively, the vice president, the president of the World 8-Ball Federations, along with the man in the middle. He's the president of the World Confederation of Billiard Sports. And a host of interested spectators from around the globe. look of concern on Terry Hunt. He's not in an enviable position here. Front and center on this quarterfinal. But certainly from this position, Tony, yellows look to be slight favorites.
There you see Terry playing a very rash shot. He got himself involved in a little bit of a tactical battle there with Keith, which is not advisable. Keith is the master tactician of the sport. And I think he's got a bit frustrated with his frame. He's had a lash at the balls, a bit of a rush of blood to the head. And he could find himself in a bit of trouble now, Terry.
Both of these players, their prime ambition to be the Embassy Pool champion. That's what it's all about. That man's had 2 kicks at the cat.
Well, Terry's virtually just thrown his frame away. Very rash, 2 rash shots he's played, Terry. Seems as though he's just laid down and let Keith beat him on his frame.
It was a great shot from Keith Brewer in developing that one awkward yellow. And now he's really laid plans to taking this 5th frame. Again, overrunning position. This isn't near as easy as it well could have been. And that's a great pot under extreme pressure. So it's the world and UK #1, Keith Brewer. Again, 1 frame in front of Terry Hunt, 3 frames to 2. For Keith Brewer, when he developed the one awkward yellow next to the red in potting this yellow, that really laid the foundation that manufactured the win in this frame. It was really clear sailing from that shot on. Keith Brewer breaking off now in frame 7. He's got a slight comfort edge, 2 frames. Very important for a good break now. And a red goes down. So it's an open table for Keith Brewer.
Red ball potted.
Keith, the current Pontins Pro champion.
Yellow ball's nominated.
He was telling me earlier that he has gone through periods where he's slumped. And he takes a lot of criticism very seriously. And he tends to use it and change it into a positive nature. And he feels that he's ended some of those slumps by doing just that.
People are very quick to criticise Keith if he doesn't win a tournament because he's got such a good record. Well, I think he'll be pumped up for this tournament. Maybe he's thinking it's 3rd time lucky. And should he get these balls here, this is really going to hurt Terry Hunt. He'll really want to pile the pain into Terry now, I think.
Sounded like somebody's beeper going off in the audience and just disturbed Keith slightly. Concentration absolutely paramount in this game. And you can see there that he was probably just disturbed enough to break it.
Things like that don't help when you're actually on the shot, Jim. It has disturbed, it's obvious. I mean, Keith Brewer doesn't miss pots like that. But Terry will be quite happy. He's back at the table. He's got a slight chance to make amends for his earlier mistakes.
30 seconds remaining.
Well, he's lost the preceding 2 frames. So he can ill afford any more mistakes, as you say.
Had a good shot there, Terry. He's opened his reds up. Snooker Keith Brewer. Keith's now got to play a very good shot here. If he's not to let Terry back in to maybe pull one back.
Total snooker.
I think the shot that Keith might play is he might elect to play a deliberate foul.
30 seconds remaining.
Put one of the reds safe. No, it doesn't look like he's going to do that. He's going to play out at snooker. I think this is the wrong shot.
Foul.
That is definitely the wrong shot. He's given 2 shots now to Terry. And the reds are open. Could be a way back for Terry here.
Well, certainly an important visit. If he can take the frame right here and now, it would be a real boost to his morale. It would reinstill a little momentum on his side.
I really think Keith played the wrong shot there, Jim. I think he really should have played a deliberate foul. There's a red on the left-hand side of the screen. He could have put that red right behind his yellows at the top of the table. He'd have given Terry the 2 shots, but there'd have been no easy finish. What he's done here is given Terry the 2 shots and left all Terry's reds in the open.
Tricky shot here, bridging over the yellow. He'd like to get this and keep that second shot in the bank. Looks very composed, and this has been a real steady clearance. And it's just exactly what Terry Hunt needed. He's going to pull one back. And Terry Hunt has done just that and trails Keith Brewer 4 frames to 3. Still best of 17 in this men's quarterfinal.
Live from the Premiership, Ford Escort Super Sunday brings you Tottenham versus Newcastle. Kevin Keegan's men have produced some of the most exciting football this season, and now they're poised to take on Spurs at White Hart Lane. Then on Ford Escort Monday Night Football, Bolton play host to Arsenal, and the Wanderers will have their work cut out to contain the high-flying Gunners. A football double starting Sunday at 3 p.m. live on Sky Sports.
Cellnet and Vodafone think it should be 68 pence to listen to a 1-minute message. Orange think it should be slightly lower at 9 pence. Another reason why, on average, Orange users save £20 every month. The future's bright. The future's orange.
In those days, I never really thought about why I ate shredded wheat. But lately I've discovered something that's really made me think. Shredded wheat has no added salt and no added sugar. That's because it's only made with 100% whole wheat. If you ask me how many other cereals could say that, I have to think.
Shredded wheat. You won't find a better cereal. And right now, for a limited period only, you won't find a better price. Just look for the special price packs in store now.
Hello, I'm Doug. I started working at Hotpoint 2 weeks before they put the first man on the moon. And what I do is test washing machines. I take them to washing machine hell. And back. There's over 6 million Hotpoints around the country, and that's a lot of people doing a lot of washing. And if I thought those machines weren't up to scratch, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I test them, till I'm sure. I spend a lot of time with these machines, checking every component's as good as it can be. And that's how I see the powder, like another bit of the machine. I seriously rate new generation person. I can't make people use it. I can just tell them what I think.
Duracell, with its unique titanium technology, continues to last longer than ordinary zinc batteries. Duracell, with unique titanium technology.
New Sure 24-hour intensive for men.
Detective Thomas Hardy.
Tom Hardy, the infamous.
Was once the most decorated officer in the Pittsburgh Police.
It's a cop, maybe an ex-cop.
Until he broke rank and told the truth.
Cop killed my father.
Now he's got a new assignment, a new partner, and a river full of dead bodies. They should never have put him in the water if they didn't want him to make waves. Bruce Willis.
Who's the best cop now?
Striking Distance, the TV premiere, 10 o'clock Saturday night on the Movie Channel. Striking Distance, starring Bruce Willis. Just one of 43 premieres on Sky's 3 great movie channels in October.
Call 0990 10 20 30 and we'll switch you on.
Ninth frame, Keith Brewer to break at 4 frames each.
And as yet, the road to the semi-final undetermined. Brewer and Hunt finally poised 4 frames apiece. It's the first one to 9. It's the one that'll go through. And a good break from Keith Brewer. 2 reds finding their way to pockets. It's an open table for him. The new rules, Tony, mean that regardless of what color you pot on the break, the table is open. And those adopted for this World Championship.
That's right, Jim.
Yellow balls nominated.
As you heard there, Keith can still take the yellows, which he's opted for.
30 seconds remaining.
I think he's opted for that reason because there is an awkward red near a yellow over the middle pocket, another awkward red behind the black. I think what he'll be looking to do is to try and get onto the yellow at the bottom of the table to kick the black out. They want to do that early, and that will make the finish quite easy should he do so. Just thinking that Keith maybe should have tried to move the black early there. It looks as though he's going to leave moving the black to the last shot. With doing that, you're not guaranteeing position on the black. So we'll have to wait and see, but I don't think he's gone the right way around these.
Well, Keith Brewer has dropped the preceding 2 frames here in this quarterfinal. And has he got the other yellow? Well, a reprieve in one sense, but certainly Terry Hunt knows full well virtually impossible now for Brewer to clear up at this visit. Totally snookered on the yellow at the bottom of our picture, and to get position on that from the yellow at the top Well, I can't see how he could do it, Tony.
If he could get on that last yellow, it'd be an absolute massive shot, Jim. As you see, he's not gone for it. He's opted for the safety.
Foul, 2 visits.
So obviously, Keith didn't think he could get on it.
Yeah, the ball was touching the cushion.
There we see Keith Brewer has fouled. The yellow was actually touching the cushion, what we call a frozen ball. So when Keith has hit the ball, he's not deemed to hit the cushion afterwards. What Keith should have done is asked the referee if the ball was touching it. So he's not looked. He's been a little bit careless there. As you can see, Keith's not very happy with that. And now Terry's in with a great chance of winning the frame.
30 seconds remaining.
Yes, you won't see that from a Keith Brewer very often. And 2 visits now to Terry Hunt. And I will just elaborate on that rule.
Second
when a
visit.
foul has been committed, the incoming player has 2 visits. So he virtually has a miss in hand, and the only time when that does not apply is on the break shot. And what a nice insurance policy it offers.
Foul.
That's such a careless shot there from Terry. What he's trying to do was move the black away from the red.
2 visits.
But really, he had no need to do that. He could have played a safety shot, maybe got another 2 shots, bided his time and made sure of the frame. But by playing that rash shot, he's let Keith in with a chance of winning the frame, which I'm sure he's going to do now.
Again, the foul given up by Terry Hunt. Brewer with the luxury of potting the yellow and developing the black and then knocking it in. He just wants to get it clear in his mind how he's going to go about doing that.
Seconds
This
remaining.
1995 Embassy Whirlpool Championship carries a first prize of £5,000. The eventual runner-up will receive $2,500. So an awful lot at stake here. Not to mention the coveted title.
Second visit.
Not in the master plan there, Tony.
Well, this frame is having a few swings backwards and forwards here, Jim. No, Keith's not played a good shot there at all. Thoroughly disappointed with it, as you can see him shaking his head. He's going to try and put this back in the corner. Has he flicked it in the middle? No, he hasn't.
Visit over.
Keith Brewer relinquishes his turn very reluctantly. And not pleased with himself at all. But he's been a bit fortunate, hasn't he? Could easily have left Terry an easier starting red.
You know, I think Terry's done the wise thing there. Playing the snooker. Trying to get the 2 shots.
And had to make sure to contact that cushion after kissing that red. Had he not, it would have been a foul. And boy, he didn't do it by much. Anxious moments for Keith Brewer now.
30 seconds remaining.
Very awkward snooker to get out of this, Jim. He has no straightforward way of getting out of it. He's got to come off a couple of cushions, whichever way. Maybe Keith's looking to try and put a red safe, give away the 2 shots and make Terry work for the finish.
Foul.
I'm quite certain the in-off was not what he achieved, or at least what he attempted to achieve. Got the red safe, though.
Well, I think Terry will pounce on this situation here. Get one in front. Put a bit of pressure onto Keith. Keith won't like being behind. He's leading 4-2. In danger of going 5-4 down. But this will do Terry the world of confidence.
Really wants to knock this one in. Save that second shot for that long, awkward red that he's leaning over. And he's done it. So now he can roll this pocket weight. And if it doesn't go in, it will on the second visit.
Second visit.
Good shot from Terry Hunt. And as you said, Tony, he had a 2-frame deficit that he's erased now. And now he's gone in front again. Terry Hunt 5, Keith Brewer 4.
11 frame. Keith Brewer to break. 5 frames each.
Well, Terry Hunt thought that he was breaking off. But in fact, it's Keith Brewer. And what he did is stop the rot. He had lost 3 in a row. And now by leveling things here at 5 frames apiece, back on track.
Foul.
And the white ball in. And as I said earlier, a foul there on the break doesn't give your opponent 2 visits. Only, I believe, Tony, if the white ball leaves the table.
That's right, Jim. Terry's only got the 1 shot here. Keith's save here seems to be the yellow ball that's covering the red on the left-hand side rail. So he'll be looking to move that red quite early in this finish. Not the 3 balls in at the top here. And then just try and shift the red on the left-hand side.
Red ball's played.
Well, you see he's got the perfect angle there. He's going to have a... yes, he's going to have a go at that now. Play a screw shot here with left-hand side on the cue ball. Pull the white down, kick the red away. That's a great shot from Terry. That is a fantastic shot.
And just as Keith Brewer in the preceding frame, one terrific shot has really opened the door to winning yet another frame for Terry Hunt. We've really seen some high-class pool here. We said at the outset he was very aggressively minded.
30 seconds remaining.
And that shot, a perfect indication. Goes for the juggler when it presents itself.
Well, I think Terry's learned his lesson from the last frame. Got himself involved in a tactical battle with Keith. Doesn't want to be doing that. He wants the balls open. He really wants to go for this. Throw down the gauntlet, get the balls potted, try and get the job done as quick as possible.
And the black looks readily available to both bottom corners. So Terry Hunt just working out in his mind and getting it straight how exactly he wants to attack the problem. The last 2 reds in position to the black. He'll be delighted with that. This simple black So Terry Hunt takes a 6-frame to 5 lead, 1 frame in front, and what a performance by him.
You're watching Sky Sports 2.
Sky Sports presents Ice Hockey's Benson & Hedges Cup semi-finals first leg. First up on Saturday night, Scotland's Fife Flyers take on cup favourites the Sheffield Steelers. Then on Sunday evening, it's off to the north of England for our second semi-final, as the Humberside Hawks take on the Nottingham Panthers. It's a live and exclusive ice hockey double, Saturday and Sunday at 7 on Sky Sports.
A few weeks ago, we got Playboy TV.
And since then, all she's done is moan.
I like a good moan.
Hello, I'm Doug. I started working at Hotpoint 2 weeks before they put the first man on the moon. And what I do is test washing machines. I take them to washing machine hell. And back. There's over 6 million Hotpoints around the country, and that's a lot of people doing a lot of washing. And if I thought those machines weren't up to scratch, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I test them, till I'm sure. I spend a lot of time with these machines, checking every component's as good as it can be, and that's how I see the powder, like another bit of the machine. I seriously rate new generation person. I can't make people use it. I can just tell them what I think.
Nice car. Want to show me what it can do?
For hair that looks alive with health and beauty, from root to tip, there's Organics.
And they're off. And it's an incredible new board game. And it's just like the real thing. And they're off. Is it the fastest board game in the world?
You bet. I need a computer, but which one? They're not cheap, and suppose I wanted to change it later. Ah, radio rentals. Uh-huh. So I could give it back in a year's time? Or swap it for the latest model? What am I waiting for?
Playboy TV starts November the 1st. Call now.
So on the one side, I'm facing a Vulcan who wants to court-martial you. And on the other, I'm facing all the Maquis who are ready to seize this ship over this. You've turned this into one lousy day for me, Torres.
In Star Trek Voyager.
My problem is with you.
Me.
The problem was a system that didn't give anyone a chance to breathe. We work under that same system on this ship.
But, Captain...
In the face of danger, will personal differences undermine authority?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Star Trek Voyager, Sunday at 8, Sky One Prime Time.
Right, sorry, half to break. Leading by 6 frames to 5.
And now breaking off with that 1 frame advantage. It's the first player to 9.
Open side.
Absolutely crushed those balls, but nothing found its way to a pocket. And that's the one drawback. If you've got a big break, such as Terry Hunt possesses, you really need to knock one in, because if you don't, you're laying it down for your opponent.
.30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, Keith played a good shot there. He's potted a yellow. He's got an angle now on the yellow into the middle pocket. Just has one awkward yellow, which is the two together at left-hand side of the table. The left-hand side yellow. If he just kicks into that now, and he's been unlucky there. He tried to kick it right onto the rail, so it just squeezed past the red. It doesn't go past the red now, so he's got a lot of work to do now, Keith.
Yes, it was very interesting to note too, Tony, at the outset here, he played a red onto a yellow. Perfectly legal when it's an open table. Lee Kendall, one of the English team members. They've won the World Team Championship the last 2 years. Certainly a very dominant side. Wonder if he's rooting for one of his compatriots on that team, Keith Brewer.
Remaining.
Always the problem, that awkward yellow on the left-hand side.
Thirty seconds remaining.
As you see, Keith was a little bit straight on the yellow he's just pocketed, so he couldn't move the bad yellow. So what he's done, he's just plopped that one in. Now left himself a double into the right-hand corner, and he'll try and screw back for his last yellow should he get it. Well, I'm not sure if that was the right choice of shot for Keith. I thought he'd played a double there. Very hard shots to pot when you play ball onto cushion, onto ball to try and pocket. Left Terry an outside chance of winning the frame now. But Terry will just be pleased to get back at the table.
Seconds remaining.
6-5 in front is Terry Hunt. But you can see that one red that was just above the yellow. That's going to be the awkward one right now. Everything else is very easily potable. That's the one he's looking at right now. Tough road to hoe and a lot of work ahead of him.
30 seconds remaining.
Terry's biggest achievement to date has been winning the Pro Tour and the Open in the same weekend. You just know that if he could lift this embassy crown, that would change. Lost the cue ball there though, Tony. Intended to be on that red.
Yeah, he's played quite a good shot there, Jim. Not left anything easy for Keith. Keith's going to have to go for this now. Should he miss, I think he could find himself 2 frames behind.
Tremendous double that, and one that he had to get. What it does do is gives him an outside chance. He still needs a good putt on this yellow. A terrific reply from Brewer. That's a terrific 3-ball out for Keith Brewer, and he knows it. Just when it looked like he was under the gun, he's pulled one out of the fire. He now pulls on level terms with Terry Hunt, 6 frames apiece. And Keith Brewer knows that the foundation to winning that frame was laid by a terrific double that he played on his first visit. This was it here.
13th frame, Keith Brewer to break, 6 frames each.
So the world and UK #1 Keith Brewer breaking off here in the 13th frame. Couldn't be any closer. This best of 17 quarterfinal now effectively reduced to a best of 5 affair. Each frame now becoming paramount. And certainly Keith Brewer would have liked to have seen something fall into a pocket there, but not to be.
Yellow ball's played.
Yellow ball's in play. Tony, before this match, you and I were talking about these two players, and you knew this was going to be very close, right down to the wire. Any chance of tipping a couple horses for me?
I can't wait, Jim. I really think I shouldn't stick my neck out, but I'm going to, as I always do. I'm going to tip Terry. I'm still going to stick with Terry. But it's going to be a very, very hard battle for him. Keith there, he's such a dogged character. He's the #1. I'm frightened to death of him. But I really think... I know Terry's got it in him to win this match.
30 seconds remaining.
Well, they've really shown us some sparkling play. It's almost one of those matches you hate to see a loser. The highlight reel would have been full.
Notice Terry's got a tremendous amount of support out there today. He started off the week with just his wife Vanessa watching him and giving him encouragement. Now he seems to have inherited some South Africans, Australians. The French are there supporting him. He's a likeable character. Smashing lad, like I said before. And his quiet mannerism and his nice nature, people seem to latch onto him.
He's having a real good look to see if this yellow will pass. Doesn't look like it will from that view. But yet, when you get in closer, who's to say? Would have to be a very good shot, though.
30 seconds remaining.
This yellow's got to go past cleanly here, Jim. If it does connect with the other yellow, it will bobble over the pocket.
Red balls to play.
He's not happy with himself. At this stage, mistakes can be ill-afforded. These are the times when the men and boys are separated.
He's under a bit of pressure here, Jim. His first shot is going to have to be a big shot. Whether it's safety or a pot, it's going to have to be a very, very good shot.
Now Keith Brewer having a good look. Those two yellows are certainly guarding that bottom corner pocket as we look. So how Keith goes about this. He really wants to be clear in his mind.
Well, this shot here, Jimmy's really got to stop the cue ball on a sixpence. This has to be a perfect weight, this shot. Very hard shot he's playing to get onto the bottom red.
And now possibly the opportunity to take the red just below the black and bring the cue ball back to the left-hand side of the table as we see it and play the other red to the same pocket. Looking good, Tony. It was a terrific effort that saw him home in the last frame. Is it going to be one of similar proportions here?
Just fell a little short there on his last red. He's going to have to pot this one. Players with a bit of left-hand side to come down to the bottom of the table for the black. Not an easy shot, but I do fancy Keith to get this.
Big shot, that one for Keith. Has he got position on the black? It's not there.
Well, that's disaster for Keith, because as you can see there, he's very tight to the black, and you must remember, after contact with the ball, he must hit a cushion, so he can't just roll up behind the ball and snooker Terry. So it's a very tough safety shot to play. There's no real pot, so I don't know what Keith's going to do here, Jim.
30 seconds remaining.
Doesn't appear as though the white and black are touching. Obviously there, our camera angle showing that they're not. Now what Keith can come up with here. I'm glad he's got this shot and not me.
Well, Jim, that's all he could do is have a lash at it. He tried to play the double twice across. Very, very hard shot. And this now is a great chance for Terry Hunt. I expect he can't believe he's back at the table in this frame.
Too true. Yellow and black for this all-important 13th frame. This black, it's an acute angle into the center. We've seen some of these missed. But not today. When Terry Hunt takes the 13th frame, he now leads Keith Brewer by 7-6.
Tomorrow night on Sky, RoboCop's family are under threat on Sky 1 at 7. A missing scientist sends us into virtual reality in VR5 at 8.
Fisher, where are you?
Back to Earth with a bang as we hit the street in Cops at 9. And on the movie channel at 10.
I never had a woman partner before.
Neither have I.
Bruce Willis stars in the premiere of Striking Distance. And that's just part of tomorrow night's entertainment on Sky.
When crunchy roast nuts and delicious smooth chocolates collide inside M&M's, prepare for a taste explosion!
From the creator of Basic Instinct.
God, Manfred's dead.
Just saw him today.
Comes an explosive, erotic thriller. Jade.
Napolina salsa, sauces for pasta bakes. Making perfect pasta bakes has never been simpler. Or quicker.
What kind of a day did you have, dear?
Shopping. Cooking.
Napolina sauces for pasta bakes. For lovers of good food.
Ah, I see you're about to eat a new Fray Bentos deep-filled pie. But what is deep? The pensées of Sartre are deep. Cognitive dissonance with one's guru can be deeply deep. But the deepness of so much lean steak and tender kidney topped with 64 layers of delicate pastry, can this be said to be deep in the true Aristotelian sense?
Right, Bentos pies, eat 'em, you can't beat 'em.
Ah, now this well is deep.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of light that likes to bend around. You can point me left or right, or hang me upside down, 'cause I'm the snake light.
The totally flexible hands-free snake light, new from Black & Decker.
Yeah, well, the snake lights from Black & Decker. We get around.
When crunchy roast nuts and delicious smooth chocolates collide inside M&M's, prepare for a taste explosion!
Let's do it.
The Miami Dolphins have sorely missed star quarterback Dan Marino, but this Sunday he should be back as the Dolphins play host to the division leaders, Buffalo.
Wow.
The Bills at Miami, Sunday at 9 on Sky Sports.
Frame, Keith Brewer to break, trailing by 8 frames to 6.
Keith Brewer strides to the table, his back well and truly up against the wall. 8 frames to 6, 3 remaining in this quarterfinal, and he needs every one. And the crowd egging Terry Hunt on. You can't say enough about the way this qualifier has been playing. He looks anything but that.
I know, balls in from the break there for Keith. Obviously very disappointed. He's giving Terry a chance here. And the dream could be over again for the old warhorse.
Yellow ball's played.
Yellow ball's in play. He got the plant. Developed one of the yellows. But he's also knocked the one that he's looking at, into an awkward position. That is, if it doesn't pot into the left-hand center. But just how elusive a deciding frame can be. We've seen it so many times on countless occasions. The one that puts you over the finish line, that's the difficult one. I've said it so many times, Tony, but he looks so calm and in control out there. And I remember one time the notable Australian Eddie Charlton told me when I was young and on one of my early visits to the UK, they all get nervous. It's the ones that can keep it under wraps and play with it. And that's just what Terry Hunt appears to be doing.
Yeah, he's as cool as a cucumber, Terry. He knows this is his big chance now. Wants to take it now. I'm not quite sure if he's on that bottom yellow. And he's looking at the plant into the middle pocket. Should he get that plant, though, the balls will become very easy.
Yes, but this is quite possibly a sign of impetuosity. A very difficult shot, this one. And couldn't have come closer to getting it. That might well have spent the end had he gotten it, but as it is, the man who desperately wants this title, Keith Brewer, is back in with a chance.
Well, I can tell you from experience, Jim, that this man just never gives in. Not until the last black ball is potted. Keith will be there fighting 120%, I can tell you.
Keith has already been pushed to a one-frame decider in this tournament. 8-7 by the young Australian Aaron Mahoney. If he's going to win this quarterfinal match, he's going to have to do that on a decider as well. Never easy, though, Tony, coming into a tournament as one of the tourney favorites, as Keith Brewer does in just about everything that he enters. Good pot on the red, but hampered cueing on the one to the bottom right-hand corner. The plant also available to the right-hand center.
It's a good shot that there from Keith, but he's going to have a lot of power on the cue ball here to get up the table for his last two reds.
And playing balls at pace into these pockets, always the danger of them being refused.
He'll settle for that, will Keith? Just one big pot here into the corner. Easy tapping in the middle. And drop the black down the rail into the corner pocket. And it'll be 8-7.
This red, no problem. But he knows all the pressure in the world is going to be on that last black. Terry Hunt knows it's all here. Couldn't have been hit better. Really showing ice-cool nerves. Keith Brewer takes one frame back. He's still alive. 8-7 to Terry Hunt. And I'll tell you something, that man must be breathing a sigh of relief. But what a tremendous pot on this black. Couldn't afford to miss it. He knew it, and he got it. It's keeping his hopes and dreams alive.
Sixteenth frame, Terry Hunt to break, leading by 8 frames to 7.
Leading 8 frames to 7. Terry Hunt breaking off. Big advantage breaking. And I don't think he used his break cue there. First time in this match that he hasn't done that.
That's right, Jim. I can't understand that. But I'll tell you what, you look at those yellows. Everyone is sat there for the taking. This could be the end, Jim.
And even more importantly, look at that black. Nicely placed over the top corner pocket as we look.
Yellow balls
Is
to
Keith
play.
Brewer going to get another chance in this 1995 Embassy Whirlpool Championship?
30 seconds remaining.
He took the more difficult yellow. He knew that would make his life easier.
That's right, Jim. Should he have missed that? Got to remember all the reds are there on as well. So this is a real pressure finish. Should he miss one, it will leave Keith straight in with an easy finish.
And again, the more difficult yellow. Absolutely no sign of nerves.
These are the real tense moments now, Jim. This is when you want to grip the cue tightly. The arm will be shaking there from Terry, I can assure you.
Well, I'm quite sure he's going to be taking the yellow to the bottom right, screwing the cue ball back. Give himself the option on either yellow. And obviously underhit that one, Tony. I think he would like to have been taking that yellow to the bottom left. That's going to be the game plan next, however. It is so tense out there, you can hear a pin drop.
I'll tell you what there, Jim, I can't believe he screwed back. He had an angle on that yellow, a natural angle just to run the cue ball around the back of those two reds, onto the top rail and come down and leave himself with a straight yellow into that corner pocket. This is a really hard shot.
Match ball. Just as slick as a whistle for Terry Hunt. And what an upset for the qualifier in this tournament. He's done it. He's ousted the world UK #1 pre-tournament favorite Keith Brewer. What a devastating performance, and what an act he has shown us today. Terry Hunt, the qualifier from the outset, receiving handshakes from everybody. He's a 9-7 winner, and his place through to the semifinals.
And another epic encounter, and well, it was a case of the brew not quite coming to the boil this evening, but a great credit to Terry Hunt for taking full advantage and reaching a place in the semi-finals. You know that adjacent to this venue here, there's a huge theme park called Camelot, where day trippers galore go on rides called the Sorcerer and Excalibur. But those who came here instead today, well, they've seen a spot of wizardry from Terry, and unfortunately from Keith's point of view, he's the man who's been put to the sword. Do hope you've enjoyed our coverage. Join us again next time from Chorley. Bye-bye for now.
Well, that's about it from us here on Sky Sports 2 for tonight. Over on Sky Sport.
And it's Wasp ball. It's the upshot of all of that. And there's the drive from the pack. And as Scrivener goes, the penalty has already been given.
Well, decision-making time now. Orrell going back. Will he take the scrum? Will he take the scrum again, or will he try to attack it? Well, that's